Okay, welcome. Want to introduce myself. If you're not familiar, I'm, uh, well, as soon as I get the thing up. All right, we blew that, but I'm just starting on streaming. My name is, I go by Storm on the internet. Um, if you are concerned or weirded out that I am using a moniker, well, privacy is a thing. But I run Command Post Gaming. Excuse me, I'm having a little trouble catching my breath. And just wanted to open this up to a forum discussion on using free Kriegspiel because I've heard a lot of complaints about rules over the decades, and I've gotten to the point. Is this popping? I've gotten to the point where I thought, well, maybe the whole rulings, not rules thing might be an interesting way to alleviate that. So thought I'd give a little bit of a talk about that and hopefully get some people to join in and discuss it with me. It's always better to have a forum than a soapbox in these situations, at least in my opinion. So, but until anybody joins up, if anybody joins up, it's late at night and this is somewhat impromptu, but um, just want to introduce the basics of it. Uh, Kriegspiel, I'm sure most people that would join would have a tertiary understanding of. It's kind of the granddaddy of wargaming, and free Kriegspiel is a variant that eliminates the charts in most of the rules in favor of a judge who makes the rulings for you. If you're an RPG person, it's fair, I guess, to say it's like rule zero. Um, Now, the way I do it is I do have some random generation. There's some dice rolling. There is a two hit or a combat. Uh, it's not determinant completely, but largely so. There's not hard and fast uh, set of modifiers or anything like that. Um, but there is a little bit of a combat system. I think there's that as much as it may be appealing to some to drop rules or to minimize them. I said, hey, you don't really need any at all if you play this way. And everybody, even the ones that go, wow, this stuff is too complicated. They went, whoa, they wanted at least something. So I think a framework, um, a very light framework, is just enough. That way, people aren't like, well, where is he getting this from? Is he pulling it out of a hat? See, originally, Free Kriegspiel was a military training thing, so you didn't have much room for, I would presume, to argue the point too much. Discussing it, debating it to some degree as a form of uh, formal training is one thing, but hollering at your destructor, Jesus, your instructor that he's wrong probably wasn't in the cards for you in the military. But um, anyway, because this is a recreational thing, you want to have some uh, mechanism for the players to be able to feel like they're controlling their own fate to some degree with a die roll, of course. So because of that, there would be, as I said, some basic framework. But other than that, uh, it's just a system that makes it easy for you to approach a war game without having to be burdened with a lot of rules on top of it, especially for somebody who's a beginner. Well, even if you're not a beginner, maybe you're getting to the point like I am, been playing this stuff for a long time, and you just, the constant learning or relearning, buying a new game, and it may be completely different than the last one you played, and you kind of have to learn all over again. Wouldn't it be nice just to be able to sit down and say, okay, I want to do this plan of attack, or I want to, you know, set up this kind of defense or whatever have you, without being uh, inundated by, you know, movement modifiers and a terrain and all that. So give you kind of an idea about it. The game you see on the background is Normandy 44. And yes, it's a game with a lot of rules. Not a lot, actually. They're pretty easy and simple comparatively. But what if we just, I don't know, it's not the best example to use, but well, here, let's do this. Maybe it'd be time to take you to the, that's not what I'm looking for, to the tabletop. Take a look at that way. I'll just start setting something up. See if anybody pops in. Okay. Wow. Oh, geez. Alrighty. So, helps if I get the screen up and going. There we are. So we'll pull something up. Let's make sure I can see people's responses, if there are any. So I'm just going to pick something out to play around with and kind of talk about it a bit. So just want to get up my second screen so that I can see if anybody's talking. Oh, nope. Great. All right. Let's see what, okay. How about if we go to something I've already got set up, partially set up. All right. So I'm using markers and dice to track. I was playing a scenario with this from a different game or a set of game rules, but just imagine the idea of not having uh, anything but here's your troops. If you're new to wargaming, then you might need some explanation as to what those troops represent and how they're fought and stuff like that. And that's a that is easier than like learning squad leader or even Panzer Blitz. Just some basic instruction or maybe a little reading prior to the game can get you up to speed on that enough that you can jump in and play and learn the rest as you go. And then you're given your command, whatever it is, platoon, company, whatever have you, and you're just given a kind of RPG explanation as to what's happening around you. Any communication is done, well, depending if you're the only player, then it's not likely you're going to be the only player. Usually you want to deal with 2 or 3 people like an RPG party or something like that. Now, you can play competitively or cooperatively because you have a GM. And that GM can be the opponent. Now, some people will argue and go, well, you can't have that because then you've got somebody who's supposed to be arbitrary trying to beat you. But that's not the thing. You're a GM the same as you are in any role-playing game. You're there to give a interesting situation. You're not there to be the dominant, you want it to be a challenge, but you want it to be interesting. I mean, if it was actual training, if it was like old school Kriegspiel, Kriegspiel was designed to train officers, as said earlier. In that case, yeah, you're a professional soldier. You're trying to teach cadets, cadets. So being, having both hats on, both as a neutral arbiter of what's going on and playing as the Op 4 versus a bunch of students, I don't think that would be a problem. But I'm sure also, at least from what I've read, more often than not, the students involved would be divided into 2 opposing sides where they compete against one another. I open up the cooperative because I feel that it's not as difficult to do as some may perceive it or just assume it is when it's proposed. And I think that there is there's a lot of people that would like the idea if you can get them past maybe the presumption that it wouldn't work out because of some perceived inability to be neutral or whatever it is. But it can work. So either way, but the focus for this is that you have a referee, somebody whom is capable of arbitrating the rules so that you don't have to. Learning, pretty much. Let's put it to you this way: it'd be like a human AI that's going to do all the computations for you so that you can focus on the fun, focus on the interesting decisions. I've heard games in general and war games, more specifically, what people said, a good game is a series of interesting decisions. And free Kriegspiel allows you to focus on those interesting decisions without having to slog through, the rules. So I think I've repeated myself. And I'm sorry if I do come off repetitive. I've had this conversation a couple of times, and it's likely me being less articulate than I think I am, or whatever, where people haven't really quite gotten it. So, and I'm sure it's myself. So I'm trying a couple of different angles of of attack on how to explain it, but it's as simple as that, really. That you sit down. Oh, somebody has joined us. Feel free to type something in the chat and make your identity known. We can conversate as you will. But um, anyway, it's just that it's playing without, you know, basically an RPG war game hybrid. So, uh, but I invited people to come in and talk about it because after I've given this initial spiel or pitch, I wanted to see what I was hoping people could see it. I might have to repeat myself if anybody's interested, or I don't know how long you've been there, because there's something about YouTube that I haven't really quite figured out is it tells me when somebody's joined, but it doesn't tell me for how long. Like there's no, you know, John Smith has joined the chat. 1 minute it says two, one person connected, and then it says two. And there's some length of delay. So I don't know how much you've heard or not, whomever you are. So it helps to be able to converse so I can make it better. Because basically what I wanted to do is like I said, give the explanation and then have the people who are listening say, I get it or I don't get it, and then explain what part that I am not clear enough on to make it understandable, and then we can work from there. So that's pretty much what I was looking for to have. Any other comments, questions, discussions is fine as well. I've got plenty of time to kill currently. I'm on duty taking care of elderly parents. If you want to just see what's going on here, I was doing a Normandy thing. The red checkers just mean you're wounded. The dice were well, these boats hold 36 soldiers, and they were unloading in increments of 6. So every turn when a new group came out, use the die as a counter to show that there's that many groups of 6 left to disembark. That was pretty much it. So just kind of playing around with some rules designs of mine. But what else with free Kriegspiel? Well, we can do this too. Let's see. Maybe having somebody else's words, if mine are not clear, hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to go to this blog site that I had. Looks like you can see it, sort of. Oh, that's not the right one. Feel free to write that, but I believe that this is the one that's got a little bit more of a interesting take on it. Okay, just making sure I'm at the right spot. So it basically says what I'm saying. Maybe if I make this bigger, people can read it better on the, there we go. So, and it really boils down to, this explanation is, you don't need to get down into the weeds with rules. It's easier just to gloss over something that's very basic, or like in this case, he or she, whoever wrote this, gave the analogy or the example of how a rope works. You don't really need a paragraph of verbiage for that. If somebody's using a rope in a certain manner, it should be easy enough to, now if there's something that may not be guaranteed to work, say using it like using a rope as with a grappling hook, something like that, where you've got to, use a little bit of dexterity to heave the thing up to the position you want in order to secure. There's the kind of thing where a die roll comes in, even with free Kriegspiel. And just something based, It doesn't have to be super granular or some giant calculation or whatever. Um, just the uh, GM will just say, well, it's pretty high up, or something to that effect. Take a look at it and go, wow, that's a long distance. So maybe 30% chance or something, whatever they come up with. And they just tell you, here's your 20 side or your D100 or whatever you choose to use as a random generator, just to, add a little bit of uncertainty into things that shouldn't be a given. But if it is a given, or if it's something, basic, like how much does this mud slow me down? Just, let the GM uh, rule that out for you instead of having to check some terrain effects chart or something like that. So that's really the gist of it. Hopefully you can read all this. I don't want to read to you like it's a bedtime story. I just kind of feel like that's creepy. So, but this is an interesting website that has a lot of discussion on the topic. It also talks about lethality in wargaming and keeping hit points a little low, and I kind of agree with that too. But that's just kind of an interesting side topic. Um, but anyway, so that be it. Now, as far as bringing this to life, I would require the participation of the people whom are connected to the live to do that. Now, I do have StreamYards, so if you're interested in communication, I don't see anything being typed. I see two people connected, and one is me. But if you're interested in conversating, I do have StreamYards. I can bring you up on StreamYards if you're interested, and send you a link, and we can discuss it, or you can participate. That's kind of all I was looking for. So there's a little back and forth chitty chat. So see if anybody's had anything more to say on Twitter before I go any further. But as far as just giving a talk, that's about all I have. It's a pretty basic thing. I just wanted to oh, a little errand for you there. Okay, a couple more people. But that's it. That's really all I have. So if you're interested in giving it a try or discussing it any further, let me know. I'll just wait for a little participation. And in the interim, maybe I'll just play this out a little bit, see what happened. There it is. So what I was playing was a little bit of this experiment right here. So just a real basic scenario of storming a Normandy-ish looking beach. There's a couple of machine guns in each one of these bunkers. Just simple stuff. So I'd like to go ahead and move these guys. If you've never seen Tabletop Simulator, this is it. It's got some pretty, said there, some pretty interesting. Oh, well, it says it's got the measurement on. Little. How about now? There we go. everything becomes a tape measure. That's one of my favorite parts. Although the part that people don't care to see is that he's wounded, so he can only move 3. The bad part is there's a little bit of setup, and I didn't go through all the procedures, so have to do it on the fly. But it is nice to have. Oh, it's nice to have these set up to do that. As far as measurement, it's very convenient. Except when you screw it up. Don't grab a bunch of them and try to turn it all on in a group. It doesn't work that way. Make one of them make clones. Whoever's there, would you like to speak? Would you like to say something? Introduce yourselves. Say hi. Like I say, I don't even know if you're. Nothing here. Give me a screen name or anything. Give me a screen. Ah, the hell is that? See, there's the thing. Often, I don't know if anybody's still there. There's such a lag. Oh well. Just wait around, see if anybody else is interested. I don't know why that's coming up. I try to stay subscribed to gamers, but gamers don't try to stay on topic. Sorry. Well, no participation. Jeez, come on. Talk about the games. What the hell is that? I just wanted to see. Sorry. If anybody was interested in conversation, but I guess not. So, all righty. AFK, if anybody's watching. Let's do. I should have read that better. Okay, sorry, but I had to. All right. Well, everybody's loving the hell out of that. Okay. Wonder if this works. Doubt it. um, let's make sure I'm right about that. Hello. Okay, Russell. Thanks for stopping by. Maybe we'll do one a little earlier so you can stick around and chat sometime. All right, I'll plan on doing a little afternoon as soon as I can, or an evening too. I'll be doing a lot more of this now. I have some more time. I'm kind of in a situation where I've gone from little time to a lot of time. This is related to the classic Kriegspiel, like everyone. No, this is somewhat. I'm what I'm doing is I'm using the original. Well, not the original. I'm using Verdi's Kriegspiel, which was a variant of the original Kriegspiel by von Reiswitz that was created back in the 19th century. So what I want to do is I want to have people be able to approach wargaming without the need to consume too many rules. Um, so you have basically just it ends up being refereed wargaming, but you don't really need to learn any of the rules per se. Although, like I said, having a combat system is at least a small one, so people have the opportunity to roll dice. And if you took dice away from the equation, I don't think it would be very appealing. So, just a very minor amount of framework rules. Yeah. hmm Just trying to get people to be able to play without having to sink a bunch of time into rule book reading. Yeah, exactly that. Just to imagine having, if you imagine having a DM for a war game, a dungeon master or a game master, and he or she is arbitrating all the rules and doing all the equations and such. All you're doing is rolling for your target, so you have that thrill of the dice and being involved in your fate and making the shot. The rest of it, you don't have to learn all the details or all that. All you're doing is getting information from subordinates, your NPC subordinates on the field, telling you what's going on from their perspective, and then you give them orders back through the referee, and that's how you direct things around. Yeah. Yep, that's kind of the concept there. So pretty soon I'll be able to get somebody that'll participate, and I think it'd probably be a lot better if you can see it in action. So I actually do have a couple of videos of a single player doing it. It's better when you have multiple people, but maybe just the single player would be enough to at least get the um, be able to visualize it a little bit better. They're on my channel here. They're called Normandy Sixth. Oh, sure thing. We can do that. And get, once my little computer cooperates. Sometimes it's persnickety. There we go. That should take you to it. We got Star Wars and World War II and World War I and more coming along. I'm looking at some naval stuff, things like that. Yeah, check it out. Communicate with us there. Can give you more information and direct you to more videos that explain things. And some of the other products and games and services that we offer. And I hear the familiar beep of a new member. So there you are. All right, great. Gotcha. That's me, Stormcaller. That's my moniker, or Storm for short, if you will. So, all righty. Have a good night. Thanks for coming. All righty. So this system works for everything. You can do BattleTech. I've got a lot of BattleTech. Now I don't make any of this stuff. I wish I knew how to. I'd love to. I was talking to somebody who was offering their 3D services. I'm a little short on cash right now. But that would be great real soon because I'd love to have my own models. Right, and what I've been doing for the most part is relying on other mechs, other people that make these things and generously let everybody play with them. So that's fun. But they come and go on tabletop. That's kind of one of the things that gets a little bit difficult for people to put up with. So that they seem to have a shelf life. So let's see. I had a really neat set. I don't know if I can identify it or if it's still there, of battle mechs. A really neat set, but I don't see it. So if you're not familiar with the system, what it does is you have a server, or more accurately, space on the server where you can put files, and these files make up the 3D models that are being used in Tabletop Simulator. and it's a finite amount, obviously, like it always is. So um, what happens is people delete the stuff because they decide they want to make something else, or they just need the room for other things, or whatever have you. So you'll start using something and go, oh, this is neat, such as the big set of um, battle mechs that I was using. And then one day you log on and they're not there. So that's kind of a bummer. But spelling helps. Typing Battletech. See if it's maybe. But all in all, it's a really neat system to use. And you can do the Kriegspiel system right here with Battletech itself. And whatever models you can get your hands on. Well, bummer. Let's see what happens if I go here. See, that happens. Somebody's deleted things and moved on to other issues. Still a couple, well, a couple that are okay. But wonder if I can find them here. Only the unpainted ones. I wonder. We shall let you know what is going on. Oh, I'm sorry. I start humming to myself. What happened here? Bummer. Well, it looks like I got to spend some time rebuilding that collection. Maybe we should play some Battletech. We'll see what else we can do here. All right. Hmm. I've picked up German bots. Well, oh, all right. Huh. Well, Hmm. Um, let's try something else. No, I think I'm going to end this live.